Good morning, this is part 2 of the school bench build. In part 1 I showed how I built the booth seating area, and in this one I'm going to show how I built the table, the storage and the world map on top.
First up, we need to create a solid frame. I attached a length of timber either side and made sure they were level. Not just as a standalone piece but also across the two. I don't know about you, but I like my tables to be level in all directions. Before attaching those pieces, I pre-drilled pocket holes so that the screws can be hidden from the front face. I ran the lengths of 70 by 35 through the thickness planer to remove the fine edges from the visible faces, and stained them before attaching. By this point, I was really starting to run low on my stockpile of palings, so I cut and pulled apart some more pallets. The pocket holes are great for giving your builds a cleaner looking finish. Now to cover in the underside of the table. I pre-cut and drilled all my lengths before climbing in. The more I attached, the more boxed in and cramped I was getting under there. I am glad I'm not claustrophobic because I got stuck and needed to do some wiggling and readjusting to get back out of there. For the hinge up lid, I first attached 3 hinges between 2 of the pre-cut palings. I then laid the rest of the palings in place, then cut all those to length. I ripped some palings down the centre to create the supports for the underside of the tabletop. Laid them on top to mark the holes and my overall length. Pre-drilled and chamfered, then attached them to the underside of the tabletop. At this stage it was really starting to come together and was looking exactly how I pictured it would. For the map, I first measured the length of the table, worked out how many sheets of A4 paper would fit and in which orientation, then took a basic map from Google Images into Photoshop and stretched it over 9 sheets of paper, printed it out, taped it together and taped it to the bench. Grab a strong pencil, one that is not going to keep breaking under pressure, and start tracing back and forth over the lines. This will leave a slight indentation on your tabletop. I just worked in small areas at a time to prevent myself from going insane, or more so anyway. Then I very gently paint in the grooves with the dark brown paint. I used cheap acrylic paint mixed with a drying retardant so I could leave the paint out all day without it drying out. For the medium brown colour, I mixed in an orange and an ivory into the dark brown paint. Added the finishing touches of the bench and it is done. If you missed part 1 of this build, I will link it below in the description box for you to check out.
If you liked this video or found it somewhat helpful, then give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, you can give me a thumbs down if you like, but either way, I hope I see you next time.